The ongoing debate about whether Columbus Day should remain on school calendars was the subject of a Rockaway Township School Board meeting last night. They revisited their contentious decision to possibly eliminate the holiday and replace it with, get this, Oppressed Peoples Day. With us this morning is Andre DiMino, president of the Italian American One Voice Coalition, who's been at the forefront of this debate. Thank you for joining us again this morning, Andre.
Well, Ken, breaking news on your show. Columbus Day has been preserved in the Rockaway Township school system.
Praise God. What was the vote?
Well, actually, I just got to tell you how this laid out because it was really something. They have the public portion at the very beginning of the meeting. And so therefore there was myself and an impassioned group of Rockaway residents and local Unico chapter members. And we laid out all the details about Columbus and how they shouldn't fight, shouldn't bring a division and should work for unity and so forth. So the whole public portion was there. But then they did not go the vote. They actually went through the entire agenda. And I think maybe they were hoping that we would go away because of the snow that was coming and so forth. But we all stuck it out and waited there. And believe it or not, at the very end of the meeting, there was a unanimous vote to preserve Columbus Day on the calendar.
Wow. And what did they have, 5 or 7 members of the board?
Yeah, there's 6 members of the board. And of course, the superintendent was there, and secretaries and so forth. So, you know, they had a full contingent there. And of course, there was the concern of the snow, but there was a great group we had there and laid out all the details about Columbus. And as you mentioned, oppressed people, well, that's what was discussed, about how Italian Americans was so oppressed and our ancestors had such difficulty here. And I don't know, Ken, I think it was an overwhelming response from the members that were there to preserve Columbus Day, that they really barely discussed. They actually didn't discuss it. They just waited till the end of the meeting, again, maybe hoping that we would go away, but we didn't. We stayed there, and there was a unanimous vote, and it's preserved, at least for the next year.
You know, Andre, first of all, God bless every one of you for showing up, because so many people say, I'd love to go, but it's snowing. I got to get up for work. Oh, you do it. Everybody makes somebody else do it. You put your money where your mouth was. You showed up. I'm sure you had to drive quite a distance to get there. You rallied the troops and you made the point, because as they say, the squeaky hinge gets the oil. And God bless you people for showing up and making it known that we are the majority, not them. But unfortunately, it's like whack-a-mole, right? You got to stay on top of them.
Well, and that's the point. You know, we want people to know that across this country, if this comes up in cities or towns, we're going to be there. We're going to have our defenders from around the country that are going to be there to oppose these crazy ideas of getting rid of Columbus Day. And, you know, to that end, we tell them that they should be unifying people, not dividing them. Just like we had a milestone event where we made a relationship with the Native American Guardians Association. And I actually presented a letter last night to the board from the Native American Guardians Association where they support us in our preservation of Columbus Day. So it kind of takes away that message that they have that it's against Native Americans.
And that's the best part. There, by the way, are 3 or 4 national holidays for Native Americans. As far as I'm concerned, there should be 40. They were here. This is not about being disrespectful to them. In fact, this isn't about being disrespectful to oppressed peoples. As you mentioned, Italians were oppressed people when they came here. So I'll show up myself and I'll support an Oppressed Peoples Day. They deserve a day. Just don't take away Columbus Day in the process. Don't be disrespectful to Italians in the process. That's the point. We're all for it. Listen, Martin Luther King, God bless him, he was a great, great man. There's so many people who are being honored who should be honored, and that's a good thing. But don't backhand one large group, by the way, of people, the Italian Americans, because you decide to nitpick about something in the past. Nobody was perfect. Everybody's hero today was a villain at some point in the past. You know, you could probably pick from the calendar of saints of the Catholic Church. You could look at all those saints and you could pick up a bunch of stuff when they were younger and say, how did this person end up a saint? St. Augustine, perfect example. He was a whoremonger. Did you know that? St. Augustine, who became a pope. He was a carouser. He picked up ladies of the evening until he had a conversion. So should we not make him a saint? Should we remove him from no, because he changed. It's not where you start, it's where you end up. And where did the New World end up? The people who live in the Dominican Republic today celebrate Christopher Columbus because of the civilization they have today that they didn't have back then. They were roving tribes of people killing one another until Columbus and the people from Europe came in. Then they became converted to Christianity. They stopped killing one another, and it's a beautiful, beautiful country. Go visit the Dominican Republic. I think it's awesome, and the people are just terrific. So, I would think, like you said, take it from the Native Americans, take it from the Dominicans. They're not saying get rid of Christopher Columbus. So maybe we should all take a lesson, all the pearl clutching liberals who try to champion a cause that doesn't exist.
Well, and not just, of course, the importance of Columbus uniting the continents and bringing the Western culture here, but for Italian Americans, Columbus Day is an atonement or an apology for the lynchings and horrible treatment that they had. So it's a very important iconic symbol to Italian Americans, plus the fact that he united the continents and really changed the entire world. And don't forget, it still is a federal holiday. So I'm just telling all those schools and cities and towns that are out there, if you try to do this, we're going to be there and we're going to oppose it, just like we did last night.
Just like Christmas. Christmas is a United States federal not constitutional, excuse me, but congressionally approved, voted on, and approved holiday. So is Columbus Day. It was suggested by the president at the time, who knew that he was looking at not getting reelected. He didn't get reelected, as a matter of fact, because he had waning support among the people. And he looked at supporting a Columbus Day as a means of bolstering his support. And that's why he got behind it. But it was because of the dozen or so Italian Americans who were lynched, who were accused of assassinating a sheriff in one Louisiana town. It turns out they didn't do it. They were acquitted in court, but yet the townspeople got them all together in the town square and shot them. One guy was shot 42 times, and he was innocent. So think about that. And that's what Columbus Day was for. Andre DiMino, president of the Italian American One Voice Coalition, please continue to stay on top of this issue. Let us know the next place. Unfortunately, there will be a next place that you have to go to, and we'll put you on the air here once again.
Great. Thank you, Ken.
You're the best, Andre. Thank you. All right, my friend.